he talks so much about like loving the game and stuff like that right over here. Like, listen to this.
Of this game. If I didn't care about this game, I wouldn't even be talking about it or making.
I just think he's lying through his fucking teeth. I need to go back and just show you guys what he's calling terrible. This is what he's calling terrible. Listen.
So driving around this area, 60 FPS, 69, 55. You can see the stutter. It's terrible.
This is You're saying that, bro, let me just mute this part. Bro. Terrible. This is terrible. I hate this. This looks bad. Awful. This looks bad. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, today we've got ourselves a very, very, very interesting topic as it sort of relates to Wuthering Waves, and that is going to be the topic of performance and optimization, right? We've got a pretty crazy video title over here called Wuthering Waves is slowly killing their players without them noticing. And you can see over here, there's a bunch of likes, not a particularly large number, but a significant number of dislikes, as well as a lot of comments in support in the comment section, right? You can just kind of like look at it from like the top down. You can see the first step to being a good game is simply being playable, so on and so forth. Lahiroy was a pain in the ad to be in. Here comes Saint making a 30 minutes video with 5 ads to refute every point you've made. Well, this is the thing, right? A video like this is undoubtedly a breeding grounds for Wuthering Waves hate, where a simple title like this will result in people liking your video without it even mattering what's in it because it's negative against Wuwa. And while naturally, right, there are going to be some decent points in here, right? I'm not going to go in off the bat and just say this is a hate farming video because I haven't seen it yet. But I've already seen some initial comments over here that are starting to cause some alarm bells to go off in my head. And these are people that are like fucking nerds bringing receipts. And this is one comment in particular that I want to hone in on as we watch this video, just to keep sort of like a vigilant eye on it. Like, not defending Wuthering Waves here, the game is well known to choke on all CPUs except the latest and fastest X3D CPU from AMD. That's how you know this guy's a fucking nerd, right? Like, I wanted to get that established right off rip. This guy's a fucking nerd. You probably don't even know what that is, but he does. That means he's a nerd. I know what you are trying to portray here, but there are so many issues with the way you are testing this setup. You can kind of see he's already established himself as somewhat of an expert over here, so I'm starting to take him a bit more seriously. Like, you kept FSR for Wuthering Waves while testing a GTX 1650, but then you leave it off for Cyberpunk while keeping frame generation on. So, FSR is AMD's frame generation technology. That does not work on NVIDIA cards. And so, in like this example over here, what we're seeing is that we use frame generation technology for one of the games, but not for the other. And I assume that there were comparisons done between Cyberpunk 2077 and Wuthering Waves in the video. FSR works on NVIDIA. FSR is an upscaler. I don't think it works on a 1650. Do you know what a 1650, like a 1650 is? You know what? Let me double check that. GTX 1650 FSR. It works on FSR 3 or 2. Ah, I see. It works on FSR 2 or 3. Does Wuwa have FSR 2 or 3? From what I'm seeing over here, FSR looks like it would work on this card. But the point still stands is that this is a sort of unequal test between the two games. I think that's what we'll say at a baseline then. It's a unequal test between the two games. So this alone is enough for me to, well, at least have this critical point of view of, well, the test specifications before we get on into the video. Because again, this is a 1650, and like, if you guys do want like some context over here, like a 1650 was released in April 23rd, 2019. So like that was actually before COVID. So yeah, this card came out before COVID. So let's go ahead. Let's get right on into it.
So, Wuthering Wave. This game is known for its good graphics. It could even rival some of the AAA games out there. For a gacha game, that is impressive. This game is also known for its good combat, very cinematic story, and recently they did a collab with Cyberpunk, which is another cinema. A lot of people are praising the game for it, and a bunch of other QOL that honestly make this game just amazing to play. But
okay, so I see that we're starting off with like a little bit of like a glaze piece over here. I think this is typically what occurs in pretty much all, I think, somewhat well-designed critique videos. You do want to make sure that you're, presenting a well-balanced point of view on the subject.
I've seen a lot of my friends quit the game despite all the good stuff I just mentioned about the game, and I've seen a lot of comments in all my video almost every day saying they're quitting the game because they can't play the game anymore. Why is that? Why are people quitting even though there's just so many good things about this game?
So I've never seen anyone say that before in any of my comment sections. Now, I'm gonna just say this as somebody that gets a lot of views in Wuthering Waves. Like, that I would not say that people quitting because of performance or like quitting. I've only seen it done performatively by like Hoyoverse players on Twitter. So I guess right off the rip, it might have been interesting to see like some receipts. It might have been interesting to see like the actual comments or the messages to see how popular they are and how well agreed they are in the community. Because yeah, I mean, they like quitting over it though. I haven't really seen it that much. That's just personally what I'm saying.
Optimization. This game is infamous for being very unoptimized.
Where is this footage even from, bro?
A lot of people cannot play this game on their device due to its very demanding game engine, Unreal Engine 4. Like, I feel like there's no problem itself with Unreal Engine 4. There are games that are made using UE4 that looks absolutely amazing. And
this doesn't even look real.
Runs smoothly as well, but most of the time a game that is made with UE4, it's always going to run into some optimization issue. It's the reason why people kind of like very skeptical with Unreal Engine 4. There's barely...
That's on the Xbox? The Xbox runs AAA games on 30 FPS? Oh, so the Xbox is just dog shit. Like, isn't the Xbox literally just a dog shit console compared to the PS5? That's why everyone has a PS5 and not the Xbox Series S? Yeah, I guess that's the thing, is that, like, an Xbox is technologically inferior to a PS5. I think everyone knows that, yeah.
Any people making a video about this, like any Wuthering Wave content creator, I barely see anyone talk about it. And then as soon as someone talk about it, the comments are going to attack them saying like, oh, just buy a new PC. It's basically the same argument like, if you're homeless, just buy a house. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to make a benchmark on Wuthering Wave. I'm going to compare this game with another AAA game.
Well, I guess this is the thing. In some situations, buying a new PC or a new console is 100% the answer. And this is one situation where I'll tell you where buying a new one is probably the legitimate answer. Are you ready for it? If you're using a GTX 1650, yes, if your graphics card came out on here, maybe it's a good idea to get a new one. Where it debuted at 149 USD. Yes, a $150 graphics card from 2019. Just so you know, this means it has sucked ass since it was made. A 149 debuting graphics card is not good. It is not going to be good in any game. It is going to be like a mid-tier kind of like bad card for every game. And so like if you're not running, like if you want to play the game on high settings, with decent FPS, yes, bro, you will need to get a new graphics card if you're still using something like this. Or you're going to be playing the game on low at like 30 FPS, but it's a 7-year-old card that released at $150 with 4 gigabytes of VRAM. That's the bottom of the bottom tier, the budget of the budget. You use this to make your son's, your 10-year-old son's gaming computer that he plays like fucking Pal World on, bro. I don't know.
I'm going to showcase
Pal World is probably too much.
3 NVIDIA GPUs here, starting from the GTX 16 series, RTX 30 series, and RTX 40 series. I'm going to
think it would have been fair to have AMD comparisons as well, but I'm assuming that he has like all of this in the same rig and he's been switching out the graphics card.
Compare this game performance in all three of these graphics. I'm actually planning to include more GPU, actually up to 50 series, but I couldn't find anyone to help me with that. So
Wait, okay, so that's where these benchmarks are already fucked because they're not in a controlled environment, and it sounds like he's just getting people with certain PC specs to run the game and then have a program running in the background. So basically what this means is that they're all on different systems with different controls, different settings, different antiviruses, different stuff in the background, and so there could be so many other things influencing the results if it's not in a controlled environment, all on the same computer with like... Do you guys get what's happening over here? Basically, I could have a bunch of like fucking malware on my PC and then be running this test, and then the results would be fucked and he would never know. Do you see what happens when you kind of like... Am I bringing up illegitimate concerns? Let's take a step back for a second. Am I bringing up illegitimate fake concerns that are like not real, or am I truly just taking a critical lens in an appropriate situation? I think it's the latter. Because to me, it sounds like he's just asking people if they have these specs and then saying, hey, can you run this frame tracking program in your game and then send it to me? It needs to be the same PC with different GPUs set up in a stable environment with no programs running in the background, same exact stuff, same processes, open up Task Manager, make sure everything's... You get what's happening, right?
So I can only make the benchmark on 30 series and 40 series. Shout out to two of my friends, Wavy and Loka, for helping me with this video. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what he did. Oh, so this entire video is based off of like, hey, do you have these specs, bro? Can you just...
To them, I'm able to do this video. So before we start the video, disclaimer, some of you guys might have a different component to your PC, different CPU, different RAM amount. So the result is not going to be 100% accurate.
And all three testers, I'm assuming, have different numbers as well. So this is less of a comparison. This is just, hey, this is how Wuwa runs specifically with my programs, with my stuff, and everything on my fucking computer in the fucking background. Bro, you need like a Linus Tech Tips, RIP to like his entire team, bro. They all fucking got fired or left. Like, bro, it's like, you need like a Linus Tech Tips level of like testing if you want these results to not be scrutinized. Because this just sounds a little... But it sounds like the results don't even matter.
This video is...
It sounds like the results truly, genuinely don't even, like, matter, bro.
Just to spread awareness on the situation in this game right now.
You're spreading misinformation, unfortunately, because this is not, like, a controlled test. This is a very, very, very bad test. And so, like, you're presenting, like, conclusions and stuff like this, saying that, the game is, like, killing their players and stuff. And, like, the evidence and the proof that you showed is one of, like, the worst controlled tests ever, where there's so many floating variables, so many things that, like, could be going on. Like, bro, there could be viruses on the computers of the people that you got volunteers from.
Honestly, this problem has been in this game since the release of Wuthering Wave, and I'm talking about it because I genuinely love this game.
And this is where I can call into question, how much do you love the game if you're willing to run like this half-assed of a test for it to say that it's killing their players? If you wanted to make a statement as definitive as this game is killing their players, wouldn't you have wanted to get better evidence or a better test, or if you truly love the game?
I didn't care about this game, I wouldn't even be talking about it or making...
Well, I could also make the same argument. If you truly cared about this game, you would have run a test with better conditions on it.
In this video, this is out of a huge love for this game, and hopefully Kuro will like fix this.
Okay, he said love like 3 times now. Now I think he's lying. So the fact that he said he's loved the game 3 times in the past 2 sentences, I now assume he's lying.
As soon as possible. All right, I'm gonna start with GTA 1650. I'm gonna show you guys my device info. This is what we're working with here. AMD Ryzen 5 GTX 1650. I'm playing this game in DX11 because the performance will be even worse on DX12. 24GB of DDR4 RAM and 4GB of VRAM.
This is basically, if you're trying to use a machine like this is a piece of shit computer. I would not be surprised if this laptop, bro, I actually want to look up how much this laptop is. Ryzen 5 350H with Radeon 24 GB memory, GTX 1650. Let me see here. Shopping. Ooh. Yeah, this thing's a solid, fucking 300 bucks. Wow. Yeah, this thing's like 300 bucks, bro. It costs less than like half a graphics card. The entire computer costs like less than like half or a quarter of a graphics card.
So I'm going to show you guys the graphics I'm running here. Everything is on low.
I would hope. Yeah, no, that is a budget
Set everything
machine.
to low. Disable almost every settings here.
I think phones run the game better.
I enable FSR for more performance here. Idling around, I cannot even reach 60 FPS. And when I on the bike, you
have 4 gigs of RAM. You've got 4 gigs of VRAM. That's why the FPS is not... Because any game with... Bro, you can't even run Google Chrome on this computer. Bro, Google Chrome would run out of memory on this computer.
See the FPS dropping to 20, 30 just by idling. It barely reached 50. I'm just idling here. I'm not
This thing would have 50 FPS in Chrome.
doing anything. Then I'm gonna drive around for a bit. You can already see the stutter. 18 FPS there, y'all can see it. 27, 26, barely reaching 30, by the way. This is on the lowest of lowest graphics. I crank it all the way down.
So basically, we've used one of the worst computers on the planet.
Still impossible to reach at least 50 FPS. At least.
I don't think this would run any game decently.
50 FPS. Now, some of you guys are probably going to say, oh, the reason why it's like that because it's an old card. I'm going to prove you guys wrong in a moment. So I'm going to prove it's not the card's fault. It's more like the game optimization. 23 FPS, 21, 18. You can't even load the trees. I have to like wait for a bit here. It is. I have to wait for a bit. Oh.
The GPU is also undervolted. You know what? A consistent 75 degrees on your GPU sounds interesting because I think that's the idle temp of a lot of GPUs is 75. I feel like GPUs typically run at a higher. That's normal for laptops, 75 at max load. And laptops 85s or 75. I don't know. Mine runs 65 to 70. It's higher than that. 80 Celsius is normal. So people are saying this could be an undervolted GPU as well, which I guess makes sense if it's a $200, $300 laptop, right? You probably don't want it to blow up. Yeah, I mean, you overclocking a $300 laptop, bro?
20. My god, this is barely playable. If it's like 30 FPS to 40, I mean, I don't mind that, but my average FPS, especially this new area Mongzhou, is 30 FPS to 20 to 10 to 18. I'm gonna show you guys something. So I'm just gonna idle here and then look at this.
Guys, there are a lot of other elements contributing to this dog shit FPS, and I would say the main ones are probably a significant lack of RAM, plus the CPU is not that great either. Guys, the CPU is not that great either. Basically, a 350... Do you guys want to see what the fucking... Bro, these are the clock speeds on this shit. Bro, it's like fucking 2.1 gigahertz. Bro, this thing also came out in 2019. So basically, the CPU and the GPU... And this is the thing. Upgrading your CPU is cheap, guys. Upgrading your CPU is actually not even like that crazy of like a statement to make because they cost like 200 bucks max. And like the CPU performance increase is insane from upgrading them. So it's kind of just like, this is like worse than a phone. Like this is like worse than a fucking phone. Like, bro, that is nuts. 4 cores and 2.1 gigahertz base speed. Y'all act like this ain't the norm outside the US. Yo, I'm gonna be honest. If the norm is using 8-year-old fucking lowest budget, like 8-year-old, like this was cheap 8 years ago. This was the bottom of the barrel 8 years ago.
Sky. I'm not doing anything. Just look at the sky. Wait for a second.
Okay, I think I can skip through some of this part. Let's get into the actual analysis over here of the specs.
This card is not meant to play Cyberpunk. By the way, Cyberpunk need at least 6 GB of VRAM to run it properly. So I'm gonna show you guys.
So he's gonna play Cyberpunk now.
Everything on low. Look at my FPS. 60, 61, 50. This is in a very highly populated area, by the way. This is in Night City right here. How can I run
What do you mean highly populated? There's no fucking people here because you...
this game better than...
Wait, where's the population? I don't see a single person on the street. I think I saw one person the entire segment.
Wuthering Wave. It's insane to me. So I'm going to show you...
Wait. There was nobody there.
Guys, my settings here. This is my settings. 1080p.
Okay, so this is the take I'm going to make here. This game isn't on the same engine as Wuthering Waves either. And I guess this is where the frame gen got turned on. Oh, was the guy tripping? Did he mean that the frame gen was turned on for Cyberpunk and not for Woo-Wah? Wait, let me see. Is there frame gen here? Wait, did he turn Woo-Wah's frame gen on?
RAM is on low.
Wait, we need to look to see if his frame gen is on.
Graphics I'm running here.
FSR is on.
Everything is on low.
Is it working though?
Set everything to low. Disable almost every settings here.
And frame gen is turned off?
I enable FSR for more performance here. Idling.
FSR doesn't mean frame gen is on. There's no frame gen. Oh, FSR is on the 1650, but there's no frame gen on that FSR. Gotcha. Okay, so it's like a... Okay. All right, now let's review this one again. But this one has the specific frame generation version. Well, this one is saying specifically frame gen. So one effectively has frame gen working and the other one doesn't.
Everything is on low, just like Wuthering Wave. I enabled FSR as well for extra.
So that's the takeover here. People are saying frame gen is on for Cyberpunk here, and then it's not on for Woo-Wah. And so the comparison here is like bullshit. That's what people are saying. I can't confirm
this card is not even reaching the minimum requirement to run this game. It can still...
Also, the GPU here is at 83 degrees Celsius, and at Woo-Wah was in 70. 83 on the CPU and GPU, and then in Woo-Wah, it's at fucking 10 degrees lower. It's like 7 or 8 degrees lower in Woo-Wah. I'm gonna be honest. The other one is 8 degrees higher. Did he re-volt it for Cyberpunk 2? Wait! It looks like he literally overclocked his laptop just for Cyberpunk in this footage. Wait, so this guy not only has frame gen, but he also overclocked the laptop just for the Cyberpunk part of the video and undervolted it for Woo-Wah. You can see the actual numbers. It's running like 7 or 8 degrees hotter. That's what it looks like. At least. That's what it looks like at least. Maybe Woo-Wah was on battery mode. And this one was, and the Cyberpunk one was plugged in. Basically, what I'm looking at over here are these things. Utilization, 50%. Temperature, 75. Then you get to the Cyberpunk gameplay, and then you see utilization at 96. And then the temps at 83. So, like, truly to me, it looks like his PC simply just doing more in Cyberpunk.
This is in the main city right here.
It just looks like his PC's working a lot harder here. It looks like it's on like fucking halftime here. But bro, it's chugging here. That's what I see, right? Low utilization could be a problem with bad optimization. But guys, when we don't know what the controlled environment is, this could literally just be the result of him overclocking and plugging in the laptop for this test and then unplugging it for the other one. And that's why not having the specifics of your data and having this many floating variables is so bad for a test like this. This is why people have parameters. This is why people have controls. Because right now we're seeing such a massive discrepancy that cannot be explained. That cannot be explained with proof, because we need to know the other parameters to know what is the difference here. Why there's a difference between them. Basically, what I'm getting to is there's a big delta right now that I'm seeing. There's a big delta right now that I'm seeing, at least in this initial comparison, that can't really be explained. There could be a lot of explanations for it. So I would say that this comparison over here is functionally meaningless until you know more of the parameters.
Here.
That's all I'm going to say. There's too many things like the temperature, the CPU usage, the utilization and stuff like that I'm not aware of. It could be undervolting. It could be overvolting, right? It could be a CPU bottleneck. It could be not. We don't actually know. So, like, you can't really make any conclusions from this one. And that's what I'm trying to say. Without the controls and without knowing what variables getting changed, you can't just say that Cyberpunk's optimization is better. There could be a lot of other stuff explaining this. And this is why, guys, when people do experiments like this and they benchmark, they state all the parameters. Do you know why? Because in a similar way that he could be manipulating the data behind the scenes by undervolting or overvolting CPUs or GPUs to get certain results, he could not be doing that. But now people might think he is because he explained things so poorly. Because he's hiding the information and it's not known, you can have a negative or a positive opinion on it. Maybe he's doing everything perfectly correct and by the book, and now people are going to scrutinize him. That would suck. Or maybe he was lying the whole time and spreading misinfo, and that's why people are scrutinizing him. Nobody knows, though, because it's an unreliable benchmark, and he made very definitive conclusions off of something that's unreliable.
On mobile, if we are struggling on PC, you cannot imagine how mobile players play the game.
If we are struggling on PC, you cannot imagine how mobile players play the game. Bro, phones are better than this. Phones are better than this. So that's another crazy take to make when your first PC test is one of the worst PCs you could use, where phones literally have better specs than this. That's a crazy thing to say. I'm going to be honest. All right, now let's move on to actual, like capable machines now. Let's start taking a look.
Even worse than this.
Average gaming phone today has 8 cores. Great. That's 2x the number of cores as the PC that he...
Okay, so if that still doesn't convince you that this game is very unoptimized...
Okay, so now I think this guy... Now I'm starting to think this guy's just spreading misinfo on purpose. Now I'm starting to think he's actually just spreading misinfo on purpose.
Let's move on to a more stronger GPU, the 30 series, specifically RTX 3080. So this computer is equipped...
All right, Ryzen 7 5700X. Awesome. Okay, looks like we actually got some good tech this time. Video memory 10 gigs. All right, and then we got 3080.
With AMD Ryzen 7, the graphics card is RTX 3080. We're running this game on DX11, 32GB of DDR4 RAM, 10GB of VRAM. A lot of you guys probably think, wow, that card shouldn't have any problem running this game on high graphics, right? It's a very strong card. Ryzen 7, RTX 3080, you know, 10GB of VRAM. I got news for you guys. It's wrong.
Wait, this is DDR4? Whoopsies.
The graphics here, this is on balanced performance right here.
Okay.
This RTX 3080, by the way, keep that in mind.
Okay. 16x anisotropic filtering and 1440p. You're running on 1440p, dude. You're not going to get good FPS in 1440p because, dude. Yes, if you run... Dude, do you know how much more pixels 1440 is compared to 1080? Bro, let me tell you how many pixels are in 1080p. Are you ready? This is how many pixels are in there, bro. You just literally put in the multiplication. Now let's look at 2560 times 1440. Bro, look how many pixels are in there. It's almost double. You need at least 12 gigs of VRAM to run this correctly. He's not running real 1440. He's running DLSS. Guys, that's still not going to be as good as just running 1080, which is what the card and all its projections are based off of. It's 1080. 3080 is not for 1440p. There's no graphics. Bro, if you're going to be running the game on high settings or relatively high settings, bro, that's one of the reasons for why my FPS isn't good, because I run it on 1440. People don't actually know I run the game on 1440. It would look a lot smoother if I did this. It would look a lot smoother if I was running on 1920 by 1080. I'm on 1440 the whole fucking time. Like, people don't realize that. Like guys, it's a lot. It is a lot. Oh, my frame rate's been locked. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. It's so... like, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Performance right here. This RTX 3080, by the way, keep that in mind.
A 3080 is a 1440p card. What are you talking about? Not for Wuthering Waves, you fucking moron. Yes, you'll be able to run Pong in 1440p. Yes, you'll be able to run Pong and Pac-Man in 1440p, bro. Yes, you'll be able to play Genshin Impact in 1440p. Just because it's 1440p in some games, that doesn't mean it's 1440p for every game. Some games have different graphical requirements, bro. Just because it's a 1440p for one of them doesn't mean it's 1440p for all of them. Okay, how about this? Can you guys show me a game that looks better than Wuwa that runs at a better frame rate? ZZZ does not look better than Wuwa. Stop fucking LARPing. Anyways, so, like, this is the thing. You can't say it's poorly optimized unless there are better optimized comparisons.
All right, driving around in the bamboo forest.
Forza 5 and 6. You do realize that Forza's able to get away with stuff like... You know, racing games are able to get away with better graphics because they don't render anything else on the fucking game. So all of their polygons that are ever getting generated at once are all dedicated to the cars and not to anything else. And so the graphics of racing games cannot be compared to any other actual game.
This is performance graphics right here. 45 FPS, 47. Or 39.
So... is a 3080 supposed to run at 38% utilization and 72 degrees Celsius? I'm gonna be honest here. That looks wrong. I know for a fact, for a PC, that's fucking low. There is something wrong with that one, bro. What? Bro, what is this benchmark? What the fuck even is that? How do you get such low utilization and temperature?
Imagine
Bro,
your dream
you are bottlenecked like crazy somewhere.
PC is buying RTX 3080 thinking, oh, I should be able to run Wuthering Wave perfectly fine with that card. Oh, man.
So when we already have the suspicion that he's been undervolting and overclocking in the video, and now you see this, are you starting to get some concerns about the legitimacy of some of these tests?
I got news for you guys, man. I'm so sorry. Keep in mind, RTX 3080, despite release years ago, it is still very expensive and a very powerful card. This card can run any other major title with no problem, except Wuthering Wave.
You're running at 1440p with every fucking setting turned on. Bro, the grass looks like that. You're running this 1440p at 60 FPS with grass that looks like that as you're speeding around the landscape in a motorcycle. I think the game is fine. You have 60 FPS while your shit is undervolted. I think the game is fine, bro. However, why is your GPU stuck and capped at 60% utilization? Where is, like, yeah, why don't you go find out what's wrong with your bottleneck somewhere?
So, driving around this area, 60 FPS, 69, 55. You can see the stutter. It's terrible.
Sorry, let's just play the voice line as this clip is
FPS
playing.
69, 55. You can see the stutter. It's terrible.
I know for a certain he, like, was not able to say that line properly because this does not look terrible. What do you mean, terrible? This looks great. You're hitting 60 FPS while driving while there's fucking... Look at the fucking ray tracing grass physics you have on. You're telling me 60 FPS when you got all this shit is bad on 1440? Remember when I said this video was just made to farm hate, and no matter what was in it, you'll have Hoyoshil saying the video is spitting hot fire? Bro, what is bad about this, bro?
It barely keeping 60 FPS, barely.
Bro, what was wrong with that? Bro, what was wrong with that? We're on 16x and it's dropped.
Keep dropping to 40, 50.
Bro, he just hit 80. I think he's literally sandbagging this setup. I am of the opinion he's undervolting and griefing the card because you can see over here, it hits 90 and then 82. It seems like he's intentionally undervolting it to get bad FPS. Literally, you can see the utilization goes higher with higher FPS, but somehow it's locked at 60 the entire time. Look at this. 82% right here, 89 FPS. Then we just somehow keep bumping it down and the utilization keeps dropping and so does the FPS.
The performances drop.
I think he just capped it in the background. He actually capped his utilization or something like that, is running some fucky shit in the background, and that's why he won't show the controls and the parameters.
All right, I'm gonna drive here. Look, I'm gonna go to...
I think he actually is spreading the craziest misinformation we've ever seen in the space here.
the spot, the waterfall area. Let's see here, 50.
Nah, I think he's lying. No, after I saw that spike up to 89 and high utilization, and then just seeing this utilization cap throughout the entire demo.
To run modern games. I'm gonna show you guys the same computer in Cyberpunk again on ultra settings. All right, let's move on to Cyberpunk here. I guess you guys can see.
Guys, I think he's just gonna revolt the card properly. Let's see what the utilization is. Ah, so now we're at 90 plus.
It
Okay.
can keep a consistent 60 FPS, 70 FPS.
Okay.
Despite
Okay.
everything
Now we're hitting 80s and 90s here.
turn
Okay.
on to high. Meanwhile, in Wuthering
Nice.
Wave earlier, everything is on balance
That's because you undervolted the fucking GPU and CPU. That's what it looks like. It looks like you've just been undervolting everything.
and low. It cannot
It's the same. It's the same average. 76% utilization. This says 33 and 49. This says 72 and 73.
look at the performance. 80 FPS, 75, 76, 60.
He won't admit that for some reason. Oh, what? Then you guys are retarded idiots? Should be a 98 to 99. Okay, so you've already said that the optimization should be higher in Woo-Wah like it is for very many people when they're playing the game. The game's optimization is shit. Guys, you can say the game is badly optimized without lying about it. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can say the game is optimized without looking like you're lying about it, like this video is.
It can keep a consistent 60 FPS, 70 FPS, despite everything turn on to high.
Why is Saint making a video on this topic when he has no clue? And you're saying this guy does.
Meanwhile, in Wuthering Wave earlier, everything is on balance and low. It cannot even keep a consistent 60 FPS. We're talking
Everything's on balanced and low when we have 16x anisotropic filtering on 1440p. Wait, you have 16x anisotropic filtering enabled and you just said everything's on balanced and low. Bro, show me a single fucking balanced and low setting that gives you fucking this, bro. 16x anisotropic filtering is what is on balanced and low? What's yours at? One? Yeah, no, mine's at 1. I'm just saying.
Alright, driving around the bamboo forest.
Yeah, so basically, this video hinges on the Cyberpunk versus Wuthering Waves test to say that this game on an entirely different engine is better optimized than Wuthering Waves because it looks like we're having totally different bottlenecks at certain points that look like they're man-made.
Yeah. I have no words. I have no words. 7.
Yeah, so when this can be explained by you just undervolting Wuthering Waves during the recordings, and that's what it looks like, because I have a clip in here where you spike up to 89 FPS, and then the utilization actually goes higher for the first time in the fucking thing. Like, when I have this frame in here, I think you're sandbagging the game on purpose. And you're spreading misinformation on purpose. And you made this entire video just because you were playing around with your fucking overclocking setup. And you could intentionally make games run badly by undervolting them. That's what this looks like over here. This looks like you undervolted the game severely because it would run higher at higher fucking utilization. But you're intentionally keeping it down. Or you're underclocking it. I don't fucking care, bro. Right? It's either an undervolt, and this is the point. People are not, the general gaming audience is not going to understand what is going on behind the fucking scenes. Nobody's really going to truly understand it. Basically, what I'm saying is that if you own a computer with a GPU, you can literally go ahead and make your graphics card worse by simply touching a couple of settings. You can make it perform significantly worse and not have it operate at its typical capacity and speed by just bumping a couple of things down. And that looks like what he's doing over here. Intentionally sandbagging and bumping down the performance of this GPU because it shows 90 FPS at like 80% utilization, yet we seem capped at 60 and really capped on the utilization as well. It looks like there's an active FPS cap in the game that's active, and that's why the utilization is down, and it would go higher if you were allowed to go higher. It almost looks like VSync with the 60 FPS, the 60 hertz monitor is active, and then VSync turned off a little bit over here. It's like VSync turned off for half a second over here. That's what it feels like, right? When you jump up to 90 FPS, right? And then go back down to 60 immediately. That's what it looks like, right? So it could be VSync, it could be underclocking, it could be a bunch of different things, right? It could actually be bad optimization. But that's the thing. Without a controlled test, without actually isolating the variables that people are changing, anything, any difference, any sort of like whatever can be explained by, well, it's some other shit in the background because nothing was ever established in the fucking first place. And again, the comparisons here, they don't make that much sense. Now let's see what the 480
if this
is, I
still
guess.
doesn't convince you, let's move on to the next GPU, RTX 4060. This is what we're gonna be working with. 13th gen Intel Core i5 RTX 4060.
So we're using a laptop. Okay, it's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so it's going to be even worse. 8 gigs of VRAM. So I bet we're going to try 1440p again. 1440p on 8 gigs. I can't wait. All right, let's see what the specs are. I don't want to listen to them anymore. All right, so here, frame generation is off. Wait, so is frame generation on for other videos? Wait, was frame generation off here too? Oh, there was no frame gen. Yeah, 3080 doesn't support frame gen. Okay, was there frame gen on here? Okay, so he turned frame gen off for these two tests. But he has DLSS on here. DLSS is just upscaling. Okay, guys, so DLSS might not be frame gen, but it solves the purpose of getting you more frames per second. It accomplishes the goal of getting you more frames in game. You have a higher frame rate if you turn on DLSS. Is that fair? Okay. So it looks like the frame gen is working properly, or the higher frames is working properly for this one. All right.
No,
just wanted to establish that again, so I know where I'm coming from when I do these comparisons.
Everything is on high here.
Okay, so we got the 120 cap, no VSync. Everything's on high. All right. All right, so now we're just doing 1440p on 8 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, look at the FPS dropping to 53, 56, 52. Bruh. Yeah, look at the stutter there. What the hell was that?
You're on 1440p with ray tracing on an 8 gigabyte VRAM card. You're using a 460 mobile with 8 gigs of VRAM with ray tracing on an 8 gigabyte VRAM card. Bro, this is like Genazad goes to the gym, and for his first set, you put on 2 plates. He's going to die.
The difference between this card, despite the VRAM is lower than 3080, it have a better DLSS technology than 3080. But still, even with that, we're still struggling to reach 60 FPS. You can...
This is one of the worst videos I think I've ever seen.
Just put it on low graphics. I'll show you guys.
I now see why it's so liked, because you can just say woo-wah bad, and unfortunately, this is the thing. The Wuthering Waves audience is really open to critiques, and this critique is basically just astroturfing to the highest degree. The guy basically takes the game and, without even close to a controlled environment, runs the most fucked up tests imaginable that I think anyone has ever seen, where a 4060 is actually a worse card than a 3080. Yeah, you might be surprised by that. Yes, a 3080 is better than a 4060. That's because the 80 is bigger than the 60. And what he does over here is he never establishes the baseline, and this is what I truly believe. He talks so much about, like, loving the game and stuff like that right over here. Like, listen to this.
Of this game. If I didn't care about this game, I wouldn't even be talking about it or making...
I just think he's lying through his fucking teeth. Because who says that they love the game that much in such a weird fucking way as they get into, like, these really fucked up tests? These, like, really fucked up tests. And I think I've already shown you, right, with a lot of, like, the comparisons, right, with a lot of, like, the whole one FSR is frame gen and then the other doesn't have frame gen and stuff like that, right? And the fact that he's saying, like, a fucking 1650 with specs like these is, like, better than a phone, when I think every phone you can buy nowadays is better than this one, and this is a $300 laptop that he's, like, saying is, like, people I've been using for, like, fucking 9 years. Bro, if you've been using a $200 laptop for fucking, like, 8 years at this point, bro, like, what are we even talking about over here, man? Like, yes, an upgrade has been fucking due for a while. Yeah, if it's a $300 laptop for fucking 2019, bro, retire that shit. Oh my fucking god, it's on its last legs. And then over here, like, the utilization, bro, this is what I don't understand. How is the utilization on this card so dog shit low on 58%, yet somehow on the 4080, we're hitting 99? Like, how are we hitting 99 here? How are we hitting 99% GPU utilization over here? And then over here, we're at, like, fucking a constant, like, 50. This stuff is never explained. This stuff is never established. It's never explained. It's never clarified. It's never even, like, talked about. And the end result is, I can't believe any of these actual tests. You can just say this about performance and optimization in Wuwa. It has definitely hit a major fucking gap in population-dense areas. We all know how bad Star Torch Academy is. It is without a doubt the laggiest area in the fucking game. But to go ahead and just make declarative statements like this over here, right? And editor, put this in the fucking intro if you want. I need to go back and just show you guys what he's calling terrible. This is what he's calling terrible. Listen.
So driving around this area, 60 FPS, 69, 55. You can see the stutter. It's terrible.
What does terrible mean? This is you're saying that, bro, let me just mute this retard. Bro. Terrible. This is terrible. I hate this. This looks bad. Awful. This looks bad. As we're hitting like 80 FPS because our fucking thing, like holding down the game, like fucking choking it out at 60 is like disabled, bro. And I don't know what he's talking about over here with this whole stuttering. Like just listen to what he's saying here.
All right, driving around the bamboo forest. This is performance graphics right here. 45 FPS, 47, or 39. Imagine your dream PC is buying RTX 3080, thinking, oh, I should be able to run Wuthering Waves perfectly fine with that card. Oh man.
This is perfectly fine! You have 1440p!
I got news for you guys, man. I'm so sorry. Keep in mind, RTX 3080, despite release.
And guys, I don't think an RTX 3080 is a fucking dream PC for anybody. Bro, like RTX 3080s are like $400 refurbished nowadays, bro. They're fucking 40, dude, they're actually fucking, they're $400 on Newegg. You could just get one for $400.
Years ago.
You could buy it for $300?
Oh, it is still very expensive and a very powerful.
That's below mid tier. If you're paying $300 for a GPU, that's not a lot in 2026.
Card. This card can run any other major title with no problem.
There is no problem with this one. I think that alone is kind of like enough for me. Because this video truly is, I think, an appeal to Hoyo shills. By doing this, all it does is just incorrectly portray information, do wild tests that don't actually make sense, has unequal settings between the two games, and of course, different engines. And this video basically relies on you not actually knowing anything about computers at all, when it's very obvious he's got some sort of like frame limiter thing going on with this game, because why does it spike up to 89 and then the utilization spikes up too? And this guy is basically just shitting on the game for faults that it doesn't actually have. Because how do you say this guy loves the game when he's calling this terrible? This is not somebody that loves the game. If they made a whole video full of these bad examples just to say that on the screen was terrible. Because that wasn't. That looked great. And this guy is just doom posting like fucking crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, as a sort of like clapback piece, we've got Arukika over here, apparently with some dog shit tech. Yeah, that's a 1070. That sucks, bro. 16 gigs of RAM and then a i5 10400. And let's see what it looks like, bro. Hey, where the settings at? 60 FPS, medium, low, off, low, VSync off, FSR off. What else we even got here, bro? He's got motion blur. Oh, motion blur got turned off. What else we got? Ah, whatever. Let's just look. Huh. So now our utilization's at 100% on the GPU. Huh, now our utilization's at 100. Oh, weird. Why is that? Why are there so many games where it's like when the utilization's at 100, the game runs fine? And when we're running at 1080p, the game looks fine. So the reality is that the game's gonna look fine for most people, and we're just overloading the game by setting it to 1440p and doing all this shit, huh? Interesting. Interesting, huh? Huh, interesting. On a 1070 as well. Oh, getting a little bit of running action in there. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that looks good. Just so you all know. You all know how old a 1070 is? Let me show y'all when the GTX 1070 came out. It's over 10 years old. Released in June 2016. It's over 10 years old. And obviously, areas with a lot of trees are going to be laggier. This one is surprisingly stable. I think it's if you have moving tree branches, your FPS goes down. Yeah, that makes sense. You only got a couple of trees here, so the FPS is good. So yeah, trees kill your FPS, but this looks great for a fucking 10-year-old card. Oh yeah, the more trees you have, the lower it goes. Okay, so are you like have we seen enough? Have we seen enough? This is what it looks like when somebody isn't sandbagging their results and trying to make the game look as bad as possible. 95% constant utilization, getting compared to this dude over here, right? Where it's like, bro, how... Can somebody just explain this to me? Why is the utilization here so low? Why is it so low or not showing for this card? And why is it so low for this card? Why is it so low? CPU bottleneck. Okay. So he's bottlenecking okay. Then great. There are so many problems here. I'm gonna let the more educated individuals, the fucking nerds of the space, find out what's wrong for me. Because this is the thing. I don't give a fuck what's wrong with it, right? I just know something's fucked up here, or it feels like something fucked up is here. I'll leave it up to you guys to find out exactly what. But to me, this is stinky as hell. One thing is very clear about this video. There's not even an actual argument. There's not even like an actual solution. There's not even like an actual like claim that's being made. It's just the game is bad FPS and badly optimized. Why? There's no reason. Is it a GPU problem? Is it a CPU problem? Who fucking knows? Because we used a different GPU and CPU for all three of the tests. So even if this was made to be a video that could help isolate or break down what the issue is so people can solve it, it doesn't even do that. It provides no helpful information other than, like, oh, there's different RAM as well, bro. Fucking one's DDR4, one's DDR5, and one's like fucking DDR, like, Revolution, bro. There's nothing actionable here. All it does is spawn hate and controversy around Woo-Wah while solving none of the issues or keying anyone in on what could be the problem. It's a useless video that I literally feel like somebody pulled out of their asshole and just, much like how there are frames being generated in some of the fucking runs, right? Bro, it feels like there's some misinformation getting generated over here with those tests. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.